Hey everyone, this is Tricky Mike here, and welcome to the workshop. Wanted to do a little update here to show you all how certain stuff was made for my Conqueror, because I've had a lot of questions on decaling and the Omega device and stuff, so I want to touch base a little bit and show you how I did a little bit of that. I can't go step by step and show you and do all the work again because it was a little difficult, but it's not that hard to do. First off, what you want to do is you want to take 3 popsicle sticks, as you can tell, and you can get these anywhere. Get a pack of them. They are really, really helpful, believe it or not. Just stack them together like so, and then invest in what they call some nice good clips. You can get these anywhere too, dollar store, Walmart, whatever, and then just clip it together after you glue it. Put some glue on it to where you get a nice tight fit, and then sand it down around it, and it'll be perfect to the square on the bottom of your thing. Then you're going to want to just go ahead and take a Dremel, because you need to invest in a Dremel too if you don't have one. Cut off the rounded part on the front to where you have a nice flat surface. Sand it, you're going to want to sand around it and everything like that. But do that, then stick it up to the bottom to where, and you're going to lay it flush all the way up to the front, so where it's all straight. And then find where your markings are, but study the ship as it does its flybys and see exactly about where your red stripe would be around the bottom of the hull. So this way you would get your perfect size on that. I do have a lot of prints and stuff like that that I'm not at liberty to show that I'd got, because I do know a lot of people that made the movie, and I'm good friends with the producer and stuff like that, and he did a lot of stuff for the show. But and he gave me a lot of the artwork and stuff like that, so that's how I knew on how to do a lot of the stuff. But anyway, this is how I did it. And then once you do that, then cut it, and then make a little angle at the back part, because you're going to want to, it's not straight, it has that little angle to it. So, and that's that. And then just take your spot glaze putty after you glue it on to the bottom, and make sure it's dead center, and take your glaze spot putty, put it around it, sand it down to where it's nice and smooth, and there's that piece. Now for the front, what I did is I took a piece of styrene. I got the real thin stuff. You don't need the real thin stuff, but it's easier to work with because you can cut it with scissors. And I just used a jewel case for a CD. I cut the square out, as you can tell, and I went ahead and cut the same size out that I cut this out of. Glued this piece on top of there, so this way you could draw on this to get your shape. And exactly, and then just take your Dremel, shave around it to the edge, and then invest in some files, some baby files. I got my set at Radio Shack, and just shave around it to where it's perfect. Then once you get your correct shape, all I did was use, for the center bar on it, I just used a model piece that the pieces come on, and just cut a piece off to where it was like that. And then I sanded one side down as best I could to where it was flat, and glued that dead center in the front. And then I had a rubber washer that was so small that it worked perfect. And then, because it does have 2 rings on the front of it, and then just glued them. I took a little pair of tweezers and stuck it on there to where it was perfect. Pushed it on, add a little bit of extra crazy glue, and voila. Then for the bottom of the Omega device, which is painted green, all I did was use navigational light from one of my other kits that I'd got. Stuck that on the bottom, and there's your Omega device. It's really simple to do. It's not that hard. I probably took the harder route because I got a thin sheet of styrene instead of getting a thicker piece, but you're going to need to do a lot of spot glaze putty here and there, but it's not that bad. It's not really. Also, a lot of you have been asking me how I got the decals for my Conqueror, which that is what you're going to want to do. You need a scanner, and what I did is I used a regular set of decals that come with your kit, the AMT decals. Now, all you do, as you can see here, these are regular ones. These are scanned from the 1/350 scale, Refit Enterprise. It's real easy to do. So, and then what you're going to want to do is after you scan this, you're going to have to download the Star Trek fonts, which will give you all these fonts, the original hull plating, and all that. Then you're going to want to just edit it. And as you can see, I've started to work on that right now. I do have G.S.S. Conqueror made already. I do have the G.S.S 1700. I do have the back parts for the end motors. I mean, for the motors. Duh. For your end pieces, for your engines. These are real easy. Once you acquire the insignia, which, like I say, I had a lot of people ask me about how I did decals and stuff. What you're going to want to do is, once you put your insignia, once you find the insignia, because I had somebody give them to me, so I actually have the pin from the movie, Star Trek of Gods of Men. But what you're going to want to do is, if you can track down the insignia, place it exactly the same size as your regular insignia, and then just once you get that to the exact same size, erase it. There you go, and that's the perfect size. Is what you're going to use. Now, up on the top, for like the top of your saucer section, just study the ship, do a lot of flyby stuff, take a lot of snapshots of it, look through it, you know, do a search on the G.S.S. Conqueror. You might be able to find some good shots of it, or even other ships. I do know there's a guy that he said he wants to do a Romulan warbird. So this is, I know I'm helping him with, you know, a little bit of decaling. Sorry about that. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and show him a little bit on how I did the decaling and stuff like that, on how I came up with it. As you noticed, a lot of this stuff on there does have your call name, and then it will have your lettering, and then usually on each side it has your insignia. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to match that, you know, get it to the perfect size on each side of it when you place it on there. And that'll all be one decal, so you can just cut your regular with the insignia and everything, because that's how I did them. Once you get that size right there for each side, it's the same, they're going to be the same size as the one you're going to use underneath and all the way on the bottom of the hull. They're the exact same sized, every one of them. So there's going to be 4 of them if you're doing a Conqueror. Now he says he wants to do a Romulan warbird. The decaling is a little different, but just make sure you get a lot of shots and add your decaling to the original decaling sheet that you're going to do, and then just do the same thing, edit your name and stuff like that on however you want to do it. Now, with that being said, like I say, when I edited this stuff in Photoshop, I just went ahead and did it individually. It's a lot of time consuming, but if you know somebody that can do the decals for you, hit them up, ask them. It'll make it so much easier. But I do, but it's just a point of trying to get him to get the decals done for me, and sometimes it's really difficult. So what I did is I do them myself, and get yourself two different, because you want a transparent sheet and you want a white sheet, because the insignias, if you are putting them on red, the transparent, the decal will just blend right in. You won't see the insignia whatsoever. So that's why you have to do it on a white sheet too. Print your insignias on a white sheet and put all your insignias on there so they'll stand out and they'll pop. That's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to do that again and then just paint around them. You're going to need a magnifying glass and stuff like that. But anyway, that's how I did everything. Like I say, if you like what you see, you know, if you have any more questions, comments, or anything like that, I'm still in the process of maybe selling my Conqueror. Not sure yet. Depending on if the price is right, we can talk. But like I say, if not, it's no big deal. I'm not pushing to sell it, so it will stay with my collection. But like I say, this is my next build. Will be a refit version of the Conqueror. So it's going to be my little twist of things. I know it blew up in the original one, but this one I'm going to do like if it was a different timeline and they ended up using the movie era ships. So we'll do something a little different. Maybe with the Omega device it won't be so much of that look. It might be a little different. But anyway, you pretty much get basically the idea. If you like what you see, you know, hit the little subscribe button all the way up the corner, and we'll talk more with you. And happy modeling, everybody.